day, wonderful children. I welcome you to our mathematics class today. Today in mathematics, we're going to be looking at fractions. Let's take the topic again, fractions. Now, what is a fraction? Let's understand what a fraction is before we go to the types and also examples of fractions. A fraction is a number that represents part of a whole. A fraction is a number that represents part of a whole. This is a whole. A fraction is a number that represents part of a whole. This part now is representing this side now, which is half. Let me share it equally. Is representing, this is half, this is half. This is a fraction now. It is representing one part of this whole orange. That is what we mean by a number that represents part of a whole. A fraction is a way of writing numbers that are not whole. This is one whole orange. This is the half of this orange. Having shared it now, we know it is not a whole anymore. It becomes half. If I decide to share it like this too, it becomes 1/4 each for every part. It is a part of a whole, a comparative part of a whole. Now, a fraction is a way of writing numbers that are not whole, like I told you. Now let's look at the type of fractions we have on the board. We have three types of fractions: the proper fraction, the improper fraction, and the mixed fractions. Now, what are proper fractions? Proper fractions are fractions whose numerators are less than the denominators. Whose numerators are less than the denominators. Don't forget that this is the numerator, while this is the denominator. So, proper fractions are fractions whose numerators are less than the denominator. Example, we have 2/4, 1/2, 3/6. They are all examples of proper fractions. Now let's look at the second type of fraction we have on the board, the improper fractions. Improper fractions are fractions whose numerators are greater than the denominators. Unlike the proper fraction, the improper fraction has its numerator greater than the denominator. Examples of improper fractions we have here: 5/4 and 17/5. You can see the number that is on top is bigger than the one that is under. We call this numerator in mathematics, and this number is the denominator. Improper fraction are fractions whose numerators are greater than the denominators, and we have two examples here. Then let's talk about the last type of fraction we have, mixed fractions. A mixed fraction is a combination of proper fraction and a whole number. It is a combination of a proper fraction and not an improper fraction. A proper fraction and a whole number. And we have three examples here on the board. This is an example of a mixed fraction. One whole number, 1/3. Two whole number, 1/5. Four whole number, 3/6. This is a whole number. 4 is a whole number. 3/6 is a fraction. Mixed fraction is a combination of a proper fraction and a whole number. Combination of a proper fraction, and a whole number. For it to be a mixed fraction, it has to have a whole number, then a proper fraction, where the numerator has to be and must be greater than the denominator. So I hope everything I explained now is very clear. Having said that, brings us to the end of this class. Don't forget to go to the class dojo for your assignment. I'll see you in our next class. Stay safe. Bye.